Hi guys, I am Dr. Noorsaira, an endodontist and a part-time YouTuber. I have achieved a rank 2 in my MDS entrance examination. Also, I have achieved 11 gold medals and 28 awards in my academic career without completely reading all the standard books. Well, that's exactly what we will discuss in this video, how to read standard books. Because I understand that standard books have information which is very extensive, volatile, complex, but also this information is a little significant when you understand them for competitive examinations or Viva-based questions. So in this video, we will discuss what is that strategy you need to read these standard books, and you actually need to read the standard books completely. So go ahead and watch the video till the end. So let us first see what are the problems that students face when we talk about standard books. So standard books has information which is in very complex language, hence it's a little difficult to understand when you don't come with that extensive knowledge and when you're just starting to read that subject. So that complex information or that complex language makes it very difficult for you to read, and eventually you lose interest. Second thing is that it contains a lot of unfiltered information, meaning it contains a lot of research based literature. Third important thing is that it's time consuming, it's very difficult to revise standard textbooks. So another very important thing is that it contains too much extensive and at times unnecessary information which is literature based, and you waste a lot of time just filtering the information and going through and reading that. So these are the disadvantages or problems associated with standard books. Having said that, there are also certain very important advantages of standard books is that the Viva questions are asked from the standard books. The MCQs for competitive examinations are sometimes picked up from the standard books. The standard books contain very good diagrams, and the fact-based questions, for example, so the numerical values and the key points, these are very trustable only from the standard books, and they're often asked in the examination from the standard books. Now, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of standard books. Now let's go ahead and see what are the advantages and disadvantages of a non-standard book. So well, in a non-standard book you have information which is given in a very simple language, hence it's very easy to understand. It is given point to point information, as in there is no attached research based literature, and it is given in a very classified manner, hence there is a flow to the information. That is, there is a filtered information, so you are reading only that much which is required, which meaning that there is only adequate information given in your non-standard books, provided you're picking up a good non-standard book. Okay, having said that, it is basically easy to revise, and it is lesser time consuming, and it is very good for you to precondition your mind, basically to understand the concepts better. But again, the disadvantages are here are that the fact-based information, for example, like that of the numerical values or the key points, are usually not given very well in the non-standard books. So you will have to read at least 2 or 3 non-standard books to get that adequate information. Now, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of the standard and the non-standard books. So how do we work around this to have the best solution possible? Now, for me, the biggest problem with reading standard book was that it was very time consuming, and I was somebody who liked to aggregate information from 2 or 3 important books, because when I was preparing or studying during my academic years, I had the vision of my MDS entrance examination, so I wanted to aggregate the information then and there. So I wanted to aggregate the information from 2 or 3 important books, and that was not possible when I was trying to read my standard textbook, and I was taking ages to complete a topic. So what I realized when I was doing this is that the information that you get when you read 2 or 3 non-standard books is actually has more potential information, it has more significant information, and it is lesser time consuming, rather than just sitting down with one standard book and losing out all the time, and you're not getting so much information which is covered in 2 or 3 different books. So but I also realized that there is some important information which is there in the standard books which I need to cover, because these questions are asked in the viva and also asked in the competitive examination. So with trial and error, eventually I realized that there is a workaround that I can do to be able to get information of the non-standard as well as the standard books and not end up wasting a lot of time. So what I did was I selected a base book, meaning I selected a non-standard book which had good quality information. So how do I select? Talking from a dental student perspective, dental materials, it comes in three different, the three different books. One, the standard books is Phillips. Then we have the non-standard books like that of Subbarao, and then we have Mahalakshmi, and then we have Ramya Raghu, and we have multiple other books. So what I did was I, glanced through the different books. I liked Mahalakshmi, because it did have good content and it was given in a very, very flow and classified manner. So once I picked up Mahalakshmi, so what I should do is, when I used to pick up a non-standard book, I would read through the non-standard book and I will get an information, or I will get the concept right into my head, basically understand the concept in very, very simple language. Also, I would understand that under this topic, these are the headings that are very, very important, and these are the headings that I should be covering in my under the subject. So what I did was, after reading the information from the non-standard book, I would go to my standard book and just filter out the key points or the extra information which was present in the standard books, and then I would write it down in a piece of paper, and then I would stick this paper into my non-standard book. So by doing this, eventually, as a compound effect, what did I have? I had a book which was customized to my needs, meaning I had information aggregated both from a standard and a non-standard book in one single place. So I was ready for viva questions, I was ready for my MCQs for my entrance examination, plus I had information in my non-standard book which yielded enough material in a standardized or in a classified way which I could replicate in my theory examination without wasting a lot of time. So I didn't have too much extensive information, I did not have too less information, so I had a good information. But the reason why it helped me achieve a good rank is because I concised everything in one place, and I was able to revise this everything in one place. If you are reading 10 standard books in 6 months, and if you're unable to revise it in the last moment before the examination, then there's no point of you investing those 6 months in the standard book. So I understand the information, the knowledge is very, very important, but also you producing the results in the examination is equally important, because that's how the exam scenario is. So that's how we are tested, depending upon the marks that we get. So it's important that you're able to revise. So you concise the information in such a way in one book that you are able to revise this information later. And I've explained this in detail about the one book concept in one of my videos. I will link it here. It's called as the one book concept to success, and it's a very, very important video. So it helps you revise. Also, when you are making this one book concept, it is important to follow two important things. One, for you to know how to filter the information from a textbook. And that how to filter the information I have explained in one of my videos, which is called as the 3 levels of reading. How to jot down the extra information and write it down. So how to filter is mentioned there. I've explained there. How to write this information into notes. That is how to make smart notes, mind mapping, framework, pathways, picture memory, how to memorize these things. I have explained in another video where it's called as the smart note making. I would recommend that you go ahead and watch these 3 videos. That is one book concept, 3 levels of reading, and the smart note making. It's very, very important. It will really help you along the path. So once you have made this one book concept, you are ready with customized notes and customized textbook of your own, which will eventually help you down the lane, not only for your university examination but also your MDS preparation. Now, having said this, there are certain chapters which are called as the high yield topics. Okay, meaning at least one question going to be asked in the examination from this topic, and you will know those topics. Those, for example, TNM staging, squamous cell carcinoma, we know it is a repeated favorite asked, right? So these kind of topics you have to purely read from the standard textbook, because you have to make sure that you have all the significant information that you need from these textbooks. Also, the questions which are not normally asked, not very rarely asked, it's better to read them purely from the non-standard books. So you should be clever enough to know where to strike a balance, which topics to read from the standard books, which topics to concise and put it in one place, and which topics to just glance through the non-standard books. So this is how I prepared for my academic years, and it yielded the results, because I completely understand it is the consistency and the revision that makes the whole difference. So even if you're studying tons of material out of grade from standard textbooks, and if you're not able to revise it in the end, it's actually a waste of your efforts. So if you're able to revise and reproduce in the examination, that is the best thing you can do. Another very significant thing that I want to tell you is the book that is good for you might not be good for somebody else. So it depends on the student. So you select a book from where you are able to understand, where you are able to memorize, and where you are able to reproduce in the examination, or apply it in your clinical practice. So do not have this comparison that only because some book is working for somebody, it will work for you too. So it should not waste your time, and it should not waste your effort. So select your books carefully and make consistent use of it, and it will bring out results for sure. So this is what I wanted to share when about this topic of how to read standard books, because I understand a lot of you were struggling to read the standard books. And also, please like the video. It will motivate me to keep up with my schedule, because I make these videos out of a lot of efforts between my busy schedule. Also, I would love it if you subscribe, and also leave a comment on my channel, because it will help me grow and bring more such guidance based content to you guys. So thank you for watching the video. Have a good day, and all the best for your examination.